Almost immediately, experienced investigators within the Joint Counter-Terrorism team believed that the caravan was part of a fabricated terrorist plot, essentially a criminal con job. This was because of the information they already had, how easily the caravan was found, and how visible the explosives were in the caravan. Also, there was no detonator. Today, I can reveal that the caravan was never going to cause a mass casualty event, but instead was concocted by criminals who wanted to cause fear for personal benefit. What organised crime has done to the Jewish community is reprehensible, and it won't go without consequences. There was also unwarranted suspicion directed at other communities, and that is also reprehensible. Those creating fake terror threats, including using anti-Semitism to elicit a desired response from law enforcement or the courts, face being charged for creating fake plots. And unfortunately for them, they will face the full experience, capability, and dogged determination of terrorism investigators.
Mr President, I move according to notice that leave be given to bring in a bill for an Act to amend crimes legislation to reverse the effects of the Crimes Amendment Inciting Racial Hatred Act 2025, Crimes Amendment Place of Worship Act 2025 and Crimes Legislation Amendment Racial and Religious Hatred Act 2025. This bill seeks to repeal 3 recently passed bills that curb the ability of citizens of New South Wales to speak and think freely. Now, I understand that it is likely there will be a parliamentary inquiry into these 3 bills, and I am pleased the opposition has signalled its intention to support that inquiry. I am, however, disappointed that the opposition has preempted what could come out of that inquiry by saying that they will not support a repeal in any case. So I encourage the fine members of that party to press for a change in their party's policy as this inquiry unfolds. Now, Mr President, I brought this bill up for debate today, but we won't be voting on it until after the inquiry has concluded. While a handful of crossbenchers attempted to push back, the Liberal-Labor coalition won the day, and another freedom was sacrificed on the altar of false security. But the fight is not over. Free speech is too important for us to meekly accept defeat. Free speech is not simply one freedom among many, but it is the core foundational freedom upon which a free society can be built. It is essential for free thinking, independence and a proper democracy. The Libertarian Party will do everything we can to support free speech, starting with repealing these most recent anti-speech laws and then going further to unwind all speech restrictions and enshrine free speech in the New South Wales Constitution and at some point the Commonwealth Constitution.
It was labelled terrorism, the discovery of a caravan at Dural laden with explosives, targeting Sydney's Jewish community. Today it's been revealed the whole thing was one big hoax.
Hello, I'm Linton Besser. Welcome to Media Watch. And a fake terror plot with a caravan bomb at its centre that left Sydney reeling 6 weeks ago.
It's what they found in the caravan in Dural, along with Jewish hate messages.
The discovery of an abandoned trailer in northwest Sydney loaded with explosives and a list of Jewish targets sent a wave of panic through the community and the halls of power.
We as a community, we are feeling very vulnerable. We are feeling very targeted.
I want any perpetrators to be hunted down and locked up.
It is a national disgrace.
Ultimately, the shock helped smooth the passage of new hate crime laws, both state and federal, that further criminalise some speech and for federal crimes carry mandatory sentences.
The circumstances that we are confronting in our community are so extreme that it requires changes to the law.
But as we now know, the whole thing was a sham, a terrible stitch-up allegedly orchestrated by organised crime figures.
The caravan was part of a fabricated terrorist plot, essentially a criminal con job.
So tonight, we're going to walk back through these 6 weeks and take a cold look at the role the media played in the fiasco. It all started here.
caravan of explosives set for Jewish synagogue attack found in Sydney.
As New South Wales Police launch major investigation.
The Daily Telegraph's veteran crime reporter, Mark Morrie, having worked his police sources, published a major scoop on January 29, which he explained to 2GB later that day.
It's been taken as a serious threat. Asia are now involved.
Cue the New South Wales Premier, who, perhaps wary of being labelled weak on anti-Semitism, as Anthony Albanese had been, assembled the press and said this.
There's only one way of calling it out, and that is terrorism.
I can say the amount of explosives is very real, and we need to take every threat at its absolute highest in this current environment.
It was this press conference which enabled the media to turn the dial to 11.
The gravity of this situation cannot be understated. Sydney has narrowly avoided a potential mass casualty event.
Channel 7 turned to animators to bring home the scale of the potential terrorist attack. Nines Today also tried to recreate the potential blast zone, its aerial map grossly overstating the potential impact. After a summer of fear with anti-Semitic graffiti and arson attacks across Melbourne and Sydney, the bomb plot revelations created a political and media firestorm, which landed on the eve of a hotly contested federal election.
This Prime Minister has been weak and hopeless. Should we act surprised that this has escalated now to an attempted terrorist attack? No, we shouldn't.
We need to engage with our security agencies in a way that takes national security seriously, not in a way that seeks to play politics with it.
From the very start, however, there were clues that something was very wrong with this story. And the first of these was dug up by the excellent police reporting of the Daily Telegraph, which had quoted this warning from an unnamed source.
Some things just don't add up.